The time is now 6 o'clock p.m. and this meeting of the Selma City Council, Tuesday, April 27th, 2021, is hereby called to order. At this time, we're going to ask that Attorney Donovan McGuire please come forward and offer us a word of invocation for the evening.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for who you are in our lives. We ask you to bless our efforts today. Bless our city, bless our leaders. Lord, despite the pandemic and despite what we go through, you have yet ceased being God. And we thank you for that right now. We thank you for health. We thank you for strength. And we thank you for unity. Bless this council and all its affairs. Bless harmony in our city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Attorney McGuire, for our invocation. At this time, let us all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we'll ask that our clerk, Mrs. Ivy Harrison, please conduct our roll call.
President Young.
Present.
Councilman Harville. Councilwoman Christy Thomas.
Present.
Councilman Carmichael.
Present.
Councilwoman James. Present. Councilman Randolph.
Present.
Councilman Jemison.
Here.
Councilwoman Janie Thomas.
Present.
Councilman Johnson.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for this evening's roll call. If you will turn your attention to the agenda, you will see our character trait for the month. The character trait of the month is adjust. Look at what you've got and make the best of it. It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Let us all remember our character trait of the month, which is adjust. Now, Council, you had an opportunity to review the agenda for this evening, Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve our agenda. All right. Please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilman Carmichael and properly seconded by Councilman Randolph to approve our agenda for the evening. Are we ready for the question?
Councilman Johnson trying to say something.
Oh, Councilman Johnson, thank you. Good evening, Councilman Johnson.
Hey, good evening, Mr. President.
All right, very good, very good. All righty, well, at this time, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
President Young.
Yes.
Councilman Harville. Councilwoman Christy Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael.
Yes.
Councilwoman James. Yes. Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jemison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Janie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Council, for your votes on the approval of the agenda. The next item on our agenda for the evening is the approval of consent agenda. Hopefully everyone has received a hard copy, and the consent agenda reads as follows. Consent agenda for Tuesday, April the 27th, 2021 council meeting. First item, to approve a purchase order for the Public Works with the vendor Cobaltines equipment for 5 annual payments arrears in the amount of $26,380. That's the first item. Second item for approval, to approve resolution R136-20/21, authorization to accept a lease agreement with Mandy Henry Properties, LLC, contingent on award of the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Business Development Grant. Item number 3, to approve the equipment lease agreement with Mandy Henry Properties, LLC, for a period of 10 years with annual installments of $2,006. Item number 4, to approve Resolution R-137-20/21, authorization to award administration services contract to Hall Stone and Associates in accordance with Federal Emergency Management Agency Hurricane Zeta declaration. Item number 5, to approve a liquor license for Lions Pride Wine and Spirit. Item number 6, to approve payment statement deductible in the amount of $5,000 for a claim paid in the amount of $10,876.84 for claimant Amos Harris. And the final item on our consent agenda for tonight is to approve an application for permit for commercial film, video, and audio production as required by Chapter 16, Licenses and Business Regulations, Article 17, Commercial Film and Video Productions for Buckingham Television. Council, those are the 7 items which we have on our consent agenda. At this time, are there any questions? Any questions? Yes, Councilwoman Thomas.
Is that name correct?
Number 6, the annex statement deductible in the amount of $5,000 for a claim paid in the amount of $10,876.84. That should be proclaiming Amos Moore. Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. Any objection to that correction? Is there any objection to that correction? Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing no questions, at this time, the chair entertains a motion of approval of our consent agenda for the night. Thank you, Councilwoman Janie Thomas. Is there a second? Second. Please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilwoman Janie Thomas and properly seconded by Councilwoman Lisa James to approve our consent agenda for Tuesday, April 27, 2021, with the correction to item number 6 to make the name Amos Moore. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young?
Yes.
Councilman Harville? Councilwoman Christie Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael?
Yes.
Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman Jemison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Janie Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
I'll have to abstain since I wasn't present for the work session.
Thank you. All righty. Our next item on the agenda is approval of council meeting minutes. And at this time, we'll ask our clerk, Mrs. Harrison, to please conduct that.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
You should have before you the minutes of the April 13, 2021 City Council meeting. Those minutes are for your consideration and approval.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council, are there any questions for the clerk at this time regarding our minutes from April 13, 2021? Are there any questions? Any questions? Hearing none, at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve our minutes from April 13, 2021. What is the pleasure of this body?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Is there a second?
Second.
Please allow the record to reflect that it was moved by Councilman Johnson and properly seconded by Councilman Randolph to approve our minutes from April 13th, 2021. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young?
Yes.
Councilman Harville? Councilwoman Christie Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael?
Yes.
Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman Jemison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Janie Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Excellent. Council, thank you for those votes to approve our minutes. And now we're at the portion of our agenda where we'll have announcements. So what we'll do, since we're all together, and we haven't had a chance to be together, we'll start going around asking all the council members for their various announcements. And we shall start with Councilwoman Janie Thomas.
I have an announcement. I'm asking a family in my ward that got burned out Her name is Virginia Menifee. I'm asking citizen Selma to reach out to help this family. They lost everything. They lived in the fire was a week ago on Short Griffin for the home. Also, pray and keep them in prayer because Miss Virginia Menifee lost her grandson due to the fire. So this family needs help, and they really do need help with clothes, finance, because Miss Menifee is an ill person, and she needs her medicine. So if anyone would like to do something for Mrs. Menifee, you can contact me, because I don't have all of the information right now. She's staying with a family member, but I talked with her, and I would appreciate the citizen Selma at this time with this family to reach out and help this family at a time of need. Also, I want to make an announcement to the citizens in Ward 7 that I plan to have a update meeting to get back into our ward meetings to give an update, because there's a lot of concerns and there's a lot of questions that I plan to have our new assistant chief and our assistant chief to be present at our ward meeting, because the citizens have some complaints and they would like to address. Once I talk with Chief Fulford, when we can set this meeting up, and then I will have this ward meeting out in the opening where we have plenty space. Be 6 feet apart, also wear our masks. And that's one of the things important, that we need to keep wearing our masks. And also, I would like to ask the citizens to please come out and take the COVID-19 shot. It is very important that we continue to take the COVID-19 shot.
Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas, for those announcements. And I meant to actually start with Councilman Johnson, since I saw him first. But Councilman Johnson, any announcements, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 or 3 of the small ones. One, I want to mention that we lost one of our own city workers that retired, worked for the city for many, many years. His name was Caesar Perkins, I'm sorry. Caesar Perkins, to correct that. He passed on yesterday, and I want the city workers and families, to keep their family and our prayers and everything, because he was a good worker. He worked many years with us, and we lost him on yesterday. I want everybody to remember this coming Saturday. I'm not exactly what time we having, but there will be a gathering for Push Max out there on the ballpark Saturday, out there on the baseball field. Baseball field out there, the practice field is by Selma High School this Saturday. I'm not exactly what time it's gonna be. I'm not sure it's gonna be around noon, but anyways, there's some brochures and stuff out, but I'm trying to get the time. I don't have the exact time for that, but we asking everybody to sell this local Max, please come out, and we're gonna have a nice celebration for him this coming Saturday on the ballpark by Selma High School. The other one is Ms. Betty Boyden is the partner with the House of Authority this coming summer, doing something for the kids at the GWC Home Center. They're gonna have a nice little evening gathering. So her and Kennard right now, folks get together to do something for the kids at the center, at the in the project in the GWC Home. So I'm not sure just for the kids in the project and GWC Home, it was whoever want to come. So please look out for that. There will be some more announcements about that. Again, Betty Boyden will be doing an evening program. We partnered with the House of Authority, with Kennard Randolph, and that we'll get more information about that coming soon. And that's going to end my announcement, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Councilman Johnson, for those announcements. Next up, Councilman Carmichael, do you have any announcements?
I don't have any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next up, Councilman Jemison.
I have no announcement at this time, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilwoman Lisa James.
Yes, good afternoon, citizens. I want to just thank you all for allowing us to do what we do as council person. I want to thank you all for coming here face to face. I'm glad to see your faces. I was tired of seeing you behind the computers. It's good to see citizens' face, and we are here for you all. So I'm glad that you all came, and I pray that we have a successful meeting today on our first meeting. And I just want to thank you, because it's not for you all, we wouldn't be here. Another announcement.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Another announcement. The Coach Maxey Day will be at 2 o'clock on Saturday. If you know Coach Maxey, you know Coach Maxey was dear to all of our hearts. So we're going to honor him on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Also in Ward 4, on Saturday, we will be getting out at around 8 o'clock along with the Omegas, and we'll be cleaning up. So if you're in Ward 4, you want to help us out, you can. We'll be there. They offered to help, so I told them I would be there myself along with some other residents of Ward 4. Also, I just want to thank everyone who prayed and called and texted and even gave gas money. My husband is doing much better. I'm looking forward to bringing him home on tomorrow. To God be the glory, because it has been a long day. I thank you for your prayers, and I thank you for your concerns, and that's the end of my announcements.
Thank you. Thank you for that great announcement.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to Councilman Randolph.
Well, I don't have an announcement, but Ward 5 going to be doing the COVID testing coming up pretty soon. We got to get with the group of ladies that conducted and see what would be the best date for them. And also, I want my little sidekick over there. He gone to sleep. Joy Lee, he cried to follow me to council meeting. Stand up, Joy. And he said, I want to put on a suit too. I'm going to council meeting, so he got his suit and tie on. And I told him, come on, come on, go to council meeting. I said, now don't go to sleep in the first hour, so don't keep look on the pattern.
Excellent, excellent. Councilwoman Thomas.
Not at this time.
Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman James.
I forgot to tell you that Coach Maxey's deal was a surprise, so please don't tell him.
All right, let's keep all of our announcements in our minds. We try to follow them accordingly. I'm sorry, Councilwoman James Thomas.
I have one more announcement, and this is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say to the citizens, and also in Ward 7, approximately 12:05 Saturday, coming into Sunday morning, please do not set fire to the household garbage in our ward, because we are going to remove this household garbage off of the street. We had a fire. Everyone was in the bed in the house, and it was household garbage was set afire near a telephone pole, and the fire truck had to come out and put it out. So we're asking, please do not set the household garbage afire in the streets. We are going to get in our ward safe.
Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Council, that concludes our announcements for the evening. Now we'll go to our citizens' concern. And first up, we have Mr. Curtis Wimberly, and he's here this evening to speak concerning laid-off employees. And we're just reminding all of our citizens, you have 3 to 5 minutes. We're not trying to be rude at all, but we have a lot of business to conduct. So please be mindful, 3 to 5 minutes for your various citizen concerns. Thank you and welcome, Mr. Wimberly.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I come to you today just as a concern about what's going on with the laid off employees, or former laid off employees, because they're not formal, because no one has received termination letter. At least I have. At November 5th of 2018, we were laid off from our job. And according to the handbook, on page 17, I believe, I think it's 5.6 or what is it? I got it right here. It's on page 18, I'm sorry.
5.4, layoffs and reinstatement, section F, it states that as long as you're on the layoff list, when that position becomes available again, you're eligible to go back to your position. Well, because there was no termination, there should be, with the new budget, I noticed that all of the positions were put back in their place. So I was just wondering what was the process for getting back in to our positions? And then the other concern that I have is that I noticed that there have been several new jobs announced, but I've been following since 2018 when I was laid off. And I checked the website, I checked Indeed and different job sites looking to see when the city posts jobs. I haven't seen any. If you go to the city website, the job postings are from the board downstairs that rolls, and it's still from 2018. So that's my concern, and I just wanted to make you all aware of those things that are important to your former or laid off workers. I mean, if you all had any questions, I mean, I would be fit. I mean, we all know the labor law states that, you know, you have to terminate a person after a certain period of time or put them back to work.
Thank you, Mr. Rivers. At this time, are there any council members that would like to speak to the statement or ask any questions of Mr. Rivers? And I see Councilwoman Jane Thompson's name.
I'd like to ask you a question, Mr. Kirk. The time when you was laid off, do you know the date? And
November 6th.
you were laid off on November the 6th. And up to now of 2021, you said there were no jobs.
No postings. There were no postings on the website. I haven't seen it in the newspapers. I've checked Indeed, the different avenues on the web, on the internet that you can find jobs. I haven't seen any job posted for the city.
And also, were you ever, when the workforce started back, were anyone call you from a layoff list to let you know
No.
that they were doing?
Actually, no one has called me, but actually in February 1st of 2021, I filled out an application. I brought it to City Hall. I turned it in to the HR department. I think it was Ms. Nunty. And I actually called the mayor's office. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 days later, the mayor's personal secretary called me and asked me what was my concern, and I asked her, I informed her that I turned in my application and that I was waiting and hoping when you all started with your budget hearings and all of that, I asked, you know, that I be considered for a position in the recreation department. I have worked for the recreation department since I was 16 during the summers. I spent almost 30 years in some capacity working with the city recreation department. This was one of my dream jobs. And I interviewed several times for positions out in the recreation department with Coach Reese, but I never got a job. So when I finally got a job, I felt that, you know, I could make some changes, help build the program. I spent 20 years coaching high school baseball, college football. I mean, I've done a lot of things here in Selma. Here in Selma, that's the key, here in Selma. So I know the kids, I know the parents. I spent 25 years working in the school system. So to work for the recreation department was one of those dream jobs for me.
Thank you. Very briefly, are there any other questions before we move on?
I would like to ask our attorney, with the section code in the handbook with Curtis just read, prior to the city under the government as an employee, is there any way that you can look into that?
Sure, that won't be a problem.
Can you look at that and get back to us, provide the council?
Yes, but if I may, I'd like to ask in response to what both Mr. Wembley said and what you just asked, I'd like to ask him a question if it's all right. First of all, as a matter of full disclosure, I've known Coach Wembley for quite a long time. I didn't hear if you said whether or not you had talked with Liz Rutledge and personnel.
I can't get her.
Well,
I called.
I can get her. Let me ask you to call back tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
Just
over
let
the
me-
last 2 months, I've called.
just let me
I've
ask you
come,
to-
and I've never seen her, never talked to her.
Just let me ask you to call back tomorrow, because this is a matter of particular importance and interest to the mayor, to the council, to personnel, and to me. I've actually heard the mayor last Thursday night announce that there was some 60+ jobs available and being advertised. So that's why I'm encouraging you to call back tomorrow and speak with Ms. Rutledge in personnel. And I will definitely check the section. I actually wrote it down when you mentioned it. I'll check that and get back with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wembley. We hope to, Mayor Clerk.
Council President Young, yes.
Yes, sir.
We are present in the meeting. I would like Ms. Elizabeth Rutledge, HR Director, to speak to this.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. At this particular time, you're correct. On our personal website, our website has not been functioning. You are aware that we have changed IT directors, and that is something that our IT director will be updating. All information for all job postings are posted in the HR department, and at any time, you can come in and take a look at those positions posted. Those jobs also are posted through Alabama Works, through Career Link. Every position that we have posted at this particular time is out there. If you go out to Alabama Career Link, and it'll link you to Alabama Works, it is out there. We have been posting on Facebook, so those individuals, we have contacted some of those individuals from Facebook. If you come directly to the HR department, Nanti is there and she is taking your application. There is no application that we have not reviewed, nor have we not ran through, did background checks, and if it is appeasing or follows the rules that we have set, we do contact those individuals back. We are actively recruiting, and we do have those positions open that the mayor has mentioned on several occasions. So we are open to anyone who is willing to come in and apply for a position. So for this individual's name, I will get your name from the clerk it's first thing in the morning, and I would like to find out myself why you have not been contacted. But everyone else should have been contacted in some form or some way, letting you know whether you have been offered a position or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Young, I do have a question.
Yes,
By him being a employee that was laid off, do he have to put in an application again? That's a question that I think the attorney.
I agree. I think that's something for the attorney, and that's why we brought the attorney in to the discussion. Attorney Madison, I think that is a good legal
It's
question.
a valid question, but it's also important that whatever the status, he report to personnel first and foremost.
Yes.
Because they're gonna have to take care of whatever
And
process,
so, right.
whatever.
And since his special status is that of a laid off employee, upon his conversation with Mrs. Rutledge, I think that also you and he should also have a conversation too, so that you can let him know exactly.
I
what
took
his
the
rights-
information down, and I'll be happy to do that.
Great, you can advise him of his rights. I think that's
We
appropriate.
have been pleading with people to apply for positions. We have over 60 positions open. We have been, in fact, I I do know that I had inquired about all of the people who had been laid off. I was told that they had either moved on to other positions or had retired. And I got that information from people who were in the city long before I got there. So I would encourage, again, I'll say this publicly, we got over 60 positions available in city government. We need everybody, who really wants to work, to apply for these positions or to go by HR and present yourself. And I can assure you, we need people in recreation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if I could just intercede and say one more thing. Those individuals, there have been individuals who have come in and reapplied for a position. Now, for those individuals, those individuals who have reapplied, the majority of them have been rehired. But I would like to say this publicly, you do have to go through a background check. So when you worked for the city prior, you were already an employee of the city and you did not have to go through a background check. So those individuals who are coming in, you are going through the process again. So please be prepared, because we have had individuals to come back and apply and we could not hire them based on background check. So please just be aware of that. Thank you.
As to not belabor the point, we will follow the procedure that we stated. Mr. Wimberly will have a discussion with the HR director. Following that discussion, we'll have a discussion with our city attorney, and then hopefully we'll get some resolution to this matter. Thank you very much. Now we'll go on to the next citizen's concern, and that's Mr. Clyde Richardson, and he's here to discuss sewage and garbage. Mr. Richardson.
How you doing, council?
Good evening.
Good evening. Look at before we get going, I would like to bring up one thing. For those who don't know, I'm Clyde Richardson, and I'm not new to the arena of sale. I'm not new to it. I mean, I've been here. And one thing we're not going to do, we're not going to develop a follow-up from the citizens coming up with citizen concern. We wasting our time with them. Because I've known from years through, citizens come up, and even myself come up with citizen concerns. And it's once it's said here, it stays here and never goes no further. So I'm asking that, Mr. President, develop you some type of follow-up procedure, assign each one of these people to one of the council persons to follow up, to give feedback to the people. Because if not, we waste our time. Okay, we're going to talk about the sewage and garbage. Let's talk about the sewage first. Every time we get a hard rain in here, it may not be affecting some of y'all, but it's affecting a lot of our property. We got property all over town. We got citizens living in them, and we get flooded out in non-flood areas. Because my opinion is, somebody's not concerned with Baker Ditch. Do any of y'all don't know what Baker Ditch is? Well, if you don't know, I'll tell you. Baker Ditch was built many, many years ago. That's a cement ditch that's running through Selma that takes the flood water out the city to the river. And if we're not keeping Baker Ditch clear, by means, I started to get out and do it myself. But I found out that things were available and I'm not going to do it. But we should get out. The city of Selma itself is responsible for making sure this water gets to Baker Ditch and go to the river. We've had high quality areas that went underwater. And everybody's talking about suing. Everybody wants to sue everybody. So it's a domino effect which way it goes. And what I'm asking is, the council or assign the public works or somebody need to know who is responsible for Baker's Ditch and follow it up and find out, is there some type of blockage in Baker's Ditch? Because all these wards in Selma, 5, 4, and a bunch of more, they went on the water on every tropical rain. If there's a tropical storm coming in, these places are going underwater. And I'm not talking about way in East Selma either. I'm talking about in Ward 4, 5, and all the rest of them. I own a lot of property in all of them. So, to start the feedback procedure, I hope y'all contact me and let me know what's going to be planned and what we're going to do about this sewage. You know, even though you got contractors working all over Selma, If you don't establish you some type of PM procedure, and what I mean by PM, preventive maintenance, some kind of procedure for public works to have to go out there to do to keep these things from happening, you're wasting taxpayers' money and time. Because these contractors coming in, taking all the money, going back out, knowing they are coming back because you haven't established any type of preventive maintenance procedures.
Thank you. I think the appropriate individuals to ask would be our General Services Director. Hoping Mr. Hicks is on the Zoom, and if not, then maybe the mayor or a deputy could speak to your questions. They would be the individuals.
I will. Mr. Richardson, good to see you. And I know that you know full well the process of government.
Yes, sir.
And I also know you've been around a long time. And you know these ditches didn't just get clogged up. And I will tell you that the Public Works Department is working really hard to get this Baker's ditch and all the other ditches cleared out. But you know that we just are now beginning to get the equipment that was the council provided appropriations and funding for us to get. We still haven't gotten a couple of pieces that we need to do the ditch work, but they are on order. But Ms. Richardson, you just, you know, you know how we usually communicate. You know, you pull up on me, and we can have a conversation, take a look at it. And Mr. Hicks is easy, Public Works. These guys are easy to work with, and they're working hard. And I typically say some things when there is a perception that they are not, when things are said that lend the perception that they are not doing hard work, because they really are. So we'll work on that as well as we're working on all the other items. Mr. Hicks can speak if he chooses.
Well, while we still there, the garbage. I know it's coming up, and I heard it's in this session. I think it is. Let me tell you, we can't point with the few and who are this or that and point these garbage bills to them. Was to solve. This been a 10-year, 20-year conversation, garbage. Am I right? All y'all know it's been a long conversation. And you're still at the crossroad, at the standstill, at the same point. Because feedback has been set up. Well, let me tell you how you solve it. Go on, raise the property taxes so everybody will pay in, and that way take the money from the mills or the property tax and pay the garbage. Let's get this garbage out of Selma. You can't point at 1 or 2, 10, 12 people and expect them to collect garbage money when they can't collect rent. We even have a rent moratorium sticking up against them. We are at a standstill, whether you don't really realize it. Nobody wants to hear raise taxes. But let me tell you, for a city to prosper, money gonna make it prosper. And if you don't pay in, everybody gotta pay their fair share in. If everybody pay their fair share in with those property taxes, it's gonna be equal out. And let it be what it be. The garbage will be picked up, take the money, and deal with the garbage.
Thank you. Council, as we are over our 5 minutes, but at this time, if there are any council members that would like to make any comments or have any questions for Mr. Richardson, you may do so at this time, if you have any questions.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Mr. Richardson, I will take upon myself to work with whoever's necessary to give you some feedback, because you are in Ward, you got a lot of residents in Ward 4, and I stop you all the time and ask you what I can do. So I will take upon myself to give you some information back to help you better, and also try to solve some of the problems that is in Ward 4.
We sure appreciate it, man.
Thank you. And also, as another note, we have a more structured committee structure now.
All right.
And so with these things that you're talking about now, I think would go great, Mr. Chairman of Public Works, yes, Councilman Carmichael, to refer that to committee so that the committee can keep updated on this as well. So if you've got the mayor's office, if you've got Mr. Hicks' office, you've got Ms. Councilwoman James and Councilman Carmichael, then hopefully that would be some feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. All right, next council, we have Mr. LaMarcus Snow here this evening, and he is here to discuss contract payment discrepancy. Mr. LaMarcus Snow. Good evening, Mr. Snow.
Hey, how y'all doing? How you doing, Mayor, Council President, and Councilman? I'm here today because I want to talk about some continuous discrimination on my business at the hands of the city attorney, Major Madison. I just want to speak on something that happened a couple weeks ago. Councilman Samuel Randolph of Ward 5, he initiated a contract with me for me to clean up, I believe, 12 trash piles in which the council voted on and approved this contract. I cleaned up these piles, and I also probably did 12 more piles on top of that. And then I started from Highland and Broad and went all the way to City Hall, just cleaning up Broad Street. Councilman Randolph announced on the council call when I was on there, he wanted to do a $1,000 contract with Snow's Cleaning Service. He said he wanted to get the money removed from his beautification fund, in which was $1,000. So the city council attorney drew up this contract, made me waste my gas and come way down here and sign this contract. I did the work and everything. If he know the mayor had moved the money from the beautification fund to a public works fund, why did he make the councilman go through all this trouble and waste of time, and me go through waste of time? He is the attorney. He draws up the contract and he makes it known where the money is coming from. So if he looked in the beautification fund and seen it was $0, why did he continue to initiate that contract without letting Councilman Randolph know, nor letting me know to stop work that the money went in there? He draws up the contract. He's supposed to know that it wasn't no money in the beautification fund. I had previous trouble with Major Madison with my contracts. I have one invoice from the city of Selma. Some discrepancy he did with the contract. I never got paid on time. Another one, 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 never got paid on time. And two more, never got paid on time at the hands of him. It was either something was wrong with my contract, I didn't have the right license. I even came down here one time and got 2 or 3 licenses. He still said it was the wrong one, so I ended up getting a contractor license, as I've been operating Snow's Cleaning Service since 2009. I always had my license and had everything else. But I want to know, if Councilman Randolph initiated this contract, who is responsible to tell him that the money had been moved? If the city attorney did this contract up, he got to put down where this money was coming from, and if he seen the money did not wasn't there, he's supposed to now. Don't have me coming down here. I walked in the finance office on the 15th. I said, do you have a check for Snow Cleaning Service? No, Mr. Snow, it looked like here we go again. And it's just like he is just discriminating on my business on purpose. Last administration, the councilman, you got Councilman Johnson can contest to it, Ms. Thomas, and Councilman Randolph, and Ms. Angela Benjamin sitting over there. She was a past councilman too. They had to hire an attorney to straighten up something that he messed up. He combined 5 or 6 contracts together and made it one total, knowing it was going to be over the bid law and mess me up. I have my state of Alabama license. I have my city license. I have my tax ID number. I have my liability insurance, which is $1 million for liability. I have $1 million worth of tree cuttage. I have $1 million in all my vehicles that I'm driving. I have $1 million worth of workman's comp. And I have the city of Selma named as one of the people I work for. I have my, excuse me, I'm gonna pick that up in a minute. I have my articles of organization of limitation companies. I have my, thank you, I have my state of Alabama, I have my LLC, and I have more insurance through Progressive with my business. I'm a business owner in the city of Selma. I pay my license, I pay my insurance, I pay all this. I should not be subject at the hands of this discrimination on my business by the city council, the city attorney of the city of Selma. He knew this money was moved by the mayor. Why did you even initiate a contract coming from the beautification fund if you know the money went there? You made me look like a fool, and then Ms. Edison ran around on 15 looking for the contract. She couldn't even find it. So it's just a continuation, and this is all I got to say. How can y'all trust a man to make hundreds of thousands of dollars of decisions with contracts, millions of dollars of decisions with contracts, when he can't even initiate a $1,000 contract right? I may not be the one to sue the city of Selma, but if he mess up one of them big contracts y'all doing, somebody is gonna sue y'all. It's no other way around it. Mayor Perkins has heard all this stuff went on with him and Dario toward my business, and I'm sure y'all councilman had. So ain't nothing he can get up here and say to defend himself, because the evidence is around. It's on the records that I never got paid. It's on the record that Councilman Randolph said he wanted the money to come from his beautification fund. So again, if he draws up the contract, he got to put down where the count the money come from. And then this was weeks ago. I didn't even do the contract fast because every time I pick up one pile, another pile was put down. So he came the next week, he gave his attorney's report. He didn't say, Mr. Councilman Randolph, the money not gonna be there. You said you wanted to come from beautification fund, but it's nothing there, but he did his attorney's report. But I can recall when y'all was talking about weeks ago, when the guy, Tyus, I believe that's his name, Councilman Thomas spoke up and said, now, does he have all his license and stuff straight? He gave his attorney's report on that. He said, yes, I checked. He had all of that right. Why, you talk about due diligence and due process, why are you neglecting my business like that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stubb. The 5 minutes is up, but what we want to do, since you did invoke the name of our attorney, if he so chooses to speak, he may. Then following Attorney Madison, if there are any council members that need to speak briefly, because we're over the 5 minutes, we will do that. We'll ask accordingly. So, Attorney Madison, is there any response that you would like to make in regards to your statement at this moment?
There's most definitely a response I would like to make, and I'll make it briefly. Mr. Snow invoked my name in connection with an allegation of discrimination. That is not true. He even said I drafted several contracts for him, which is also true. He asked, why would I draft a contract not knowing that monies had been moved from one account to another? That is not my job as city attorney to track fund balances and accounts. It is my job to receive an account when given to me. The most material terms in any contract are the parties, the term of the contract, when it is to be executed, the amount of the contract, the scope of services, and the fund account from which funds will come. I actually had someone hand me last year a list of all the fund account numbers, not the balances in the accounts, the fund account numbers. I actually attempted to execute a contract using the list from the treasurer's office I had been provided, and it resulted in 1 or 2 errors. I said, I cannot do this. My job is not the treasurer, it's not the financial director, it's the city attorney. I stopped using that information I had been provided by the treasurer and told her that she or someone else was going to have to provide me the fund account numbers. It is not my job as city attorney to track financial records. I was falsely accused of having prior knowledge by Mr. Snow of the transfer of funds from one account to another, or the lack of an account balance. That is 100% incorrect and wrong. And if I did know of such action having been taken, I would have contacted the individual who was requesting the contract to be executed to begin with, which probably would have been the mayor. The way we're executing contracts has been under fire since before I got here. It's still an issue that I will be addressing again with the council shortly, because I've addressed it before in the form of an attorney general's opinion, which I provided, at which point I provided a copy of the council's own procedures for contracting to make the council aware of what we were doing based on the directions they took. Mr. Snow has asked, why would I do certain things? He didn't ask me. He came to this council and asked you. Okay. You nor he can tell anyone what's in my mind. Okay. Nobody can do that but me.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, we'll go to Councilman Randolph, and then we'll try to wrap this up. We're gonna make a statement of resolution because we need to move on. Yeah. Go ahead, Councilman Randolph.
At the work session Thursday, I did mention that I didn't know that the money wasn't in beautification anymore. But that's an issue that the council might need to take up and put the money back in beautification as a body. I know some people might not like it, but you know, it is what it is. But also I said, since I don't have any beautification money, I want to pay Mr. Snow out of my discretionary, which I can. So my question is to the treasurer, can Mr. Snow get paid before the 31st? Is the city treasurer?
Good evening, I'm here.
Yeah, I was saying, can Mr. Snow get paid out of my discretionary? I want to pay $1,000 toward the contract that he did for me with the cleanup, since I don't have any money in beautification.
If we have the paperwork, I don't think we have the paperwork in our office for Mr. Snow.
Okay.
But if you want him to be paid from your discretionary, just have your administrative assistant fill out a form that you all normally do, and we will we'll get him paid. You know, we're down to AVP clerk, so we're doing the best we can with what we have. We're normally a 5-employee department, and we're down to 2 people.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
So go ahead and submit your information to your admin, have her get it to us, and we'll try to get him into the 30th check run.
So, okay, thank you. My next question is, I know we're gonna have to have a copy of that contract. Do anybody know where it's a contract now? Have anybody seen the contract?
Who drew up the contract?
It was my understanding that Mr. Snow said he came down to my office to sign the contract.
Ask your secretary.
I'm not disputing you, I'm just saying he was directed to come to my office to sign a contract.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we
Council President.
Yes, Mayor Perkins, and then Mr. Snow, and then I'll speak and we'll move on. Go ahead, Mayor Perkins.
Mr. Snow, good to see you.
Yes.
In my humble opinion, the origin of this issue is the council issuing contracts. The council should not be initiating contracts. And when you do, it creates these kinds of problems. Mr. Snow, I need to meet. I was hoping that you would, just kind of stop out, but I'm requesting that we sit down and talk. Because many of the situations that you're finding yourself in are the consequence of things that we have to unlearn. The procedures that you have described even this evening would be questioned by the Ethics Commission. I'll give you an example. If you're doing the same work for the city, and the accumulative total amount of the contracts that you do exceed that $50,000, then the city has violated the audit requirements, and you potentially have broken the law. The city is supposed to combine all of this work and put this work out for bid. That's what the law says. And that's what we are doing. We've actually, the Planning and Development Office has actually put together how to do business with the city. We're just trying to make sure that what we do going forward is legal, morally, and ethically right. That's what's going on. But when a council person goes out, negotiates a contract, issues a contract, it's never gonna work. It's not gonna work legally. That's what they had been doing. It's not the appropriate way to do it. And so if you, I'm gonna ask that we get a chance to sit down and just talk about this, because a lot of the challenges that you're running into, you should not be running into them. But we gotta do this the right way.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay. Mr. Snow, I think. Mr. Snow.
I wanna go on the record, so y'all can put it on the record. The $1,000 that I'm owed to by the city of Selma.
No, don't do that.
Go ahead, Mr. Hold on. Mr. Snow, go ahead, continue, sir. You have the floor.
The $1,000 that I'm owed to by the city of Selma, I would like to donate it to Miss Minifield, the lady that Miss Janet Mae Thomas talking about. So could y'all make sure that, I just want to go on the record and give it to her. I want to make sure that, because I'm not going to be coming to the finance office fighting with these people about no check. I just want to release it to Janet Mae Thomas in the form of however she wanted, and I want to give it to Miss Minifield, the lady that house burned down. She lost her grandson. I want to donate it to her.
What I'd like to say, Mr. Snow.
Yes, sir.
First of all, the other day I saw that you do listen to me sometimes, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any money to give you.
Yes, sir.
But the very least I can do is tell you thank you.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of the city of Selma, I thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your works are not going unnoticed.
Yes, sir.
This community sees that Snowman is on the job.
Yes, sir.
Trying to clean up Selma.
Can you,
and we appreciate it.
I'm gonna get out y'all way. Can you make sure that Ms. Minifield get that $1,000?
I think you will sit up and do something with the signature, so you may still need to sign something over.
Okay, get it rid up and I'll sign it.
All right, Councilwoman Thomas, will you work with Mr. Snow?
Yeah, we have to get it, we'll talk with
He'll have to be paid. He'll have to be paid in time to himself.
There ain't no problem. When I get him signed up for that lady.
He'll have to be paid.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Snow. Next on our agenda, we have Dr. Portia Fulford here to speak about the Water Avenue property. Dr. Portia Fulford.
Good evening, Selma City Council. So glad to come before you. I'm Dr. Portia Fulford. I'm the CEO of Fulford International Corporation, which owns Orgampy Farms right here on Water Avenue. I also have several of my advisory board members present, and I'm here to bring an issue that was not resolved on the commission level before you. I am a resident of Selma. I grew up in DWC homes. I pay taxes here. I employ people. I feed people in my restaurant. I train people. And I'm also one of your largest developers in that I've acquired not only the Teppers building, but the rest of the Teppers block behind Teppers. So my investments in this city since 2012 have been substantial. And I believe in the rebirth and the revitalization of this district, of this city, to the world. I could live anywhere in the world that I want, but I choose to live in the Old Town District here. And that is the basis of why I'm here. I want to thank some of my board members for being here. Also the founder and president of the Penny Savings Federal Credit Union, which is in the chartering process of relocating to Selma to help get funding in the hands of your small businesses to help revitalize this area. The credit union was developed specifically for Selma and economic development. And I'm the founder and president of the 9-member founding committee of that credit union. We're here because I wanted and decided that this year when we reopened, I wanted to welcome our tourists as we do. Orgampi Farms, I like to consider it as the heartbeat of Selma. We are probably one of the few places where tourists, multiple races, multiple socioeconomic statuses meet in one place. During the summer months, we are the primary place that feed, greet, and occasionally in our bed and breakfast house tourists that come into this city. It's the first face that see before the St. James had opened. I put a COA in, a Certificate of Appropriateness, to the Historic Commission. I believe in the work of the preservation of this city. Part of my estate goes to the National Trust in Preservation as part of an endowment that I serve. So I'm very serious about preservation, but not at the expense of moving this city forward. I put in a COA to the Plan and Development Commission. Ms. Wooten and Mr. Henry Thompson has done an excellent job of making sure that COA reached the ordinance. After I put the COA in, I was told that it was approved. When the word came back that I was the Tapper's lady, it was suddenly disapproved. And so what I did was Danielle Wooten, as part of the negotiating process, allowed me to meet with the commission on the Zoom call. And it was told to me that you may do whatever you want, but they are not going to allow me to paint the building. 1010 Water Avenue is the only building on the block that is unpainted. There are 31 buildings on Water Avenue, 29 of them are painted. So when you have the wording that you are denying a COA, which I never received documentation, I have the ordinances here from your Muni Code of what the Historic Commission does and the purpose of the revitalization process. I also have here that 1010 Water Avenue is also in the Arts and Entertainment District. I also have here that failure to maintenance a property that's historic is supposed to be gathered by the commission as well. I have here that the certificate of denial of any COA application, according to Statute M and your own ordinance, says that I'm supposed to be notified in writing or hand delivered. I've never received anything in writing from the commission whatsoever, which makes the processes and procedures that they are guided by in the ordinances illegal. You cannot run a city based on preferences. Just like Oxford Vibe is a hot, beautiful purple that I love, you have to apply the same standards to the rest of the block. Another ordinance is that when they review ordinances, they're actually supposed to reach out to the owner if they think they're going to deny it. This is on your website and your ordinances, never approved in writing. So one of the things that was discussed was, if you're painting on brick, what is the regulation if you're painting brick that's never been painted? You're supposed to actually go to the physical location, look at the surrounding buildings, and make the judgment if this would be a material devaluation of the property. I'm the only store thumb on the block, and I'm the only person open to tourism. So that's another ordinance violation. And it goes on and on here about the applications. The code here, section 22.222, they're supposed to consider the surrounding buildings. Also, I was due a copy of the standards by the Historic Preservation, where they should have listed why they denied the application. Never got a copy of that. Also requested in Ms. Ivy's office just on yesterday, what are the standards? Because I'm that person that will spend Friday night reading every COA that has been approved for the city of Selma for the last 6 years. Never received it at all. Finally, here we have the application that I submitted for 1010 and 1012 Water Avenue. And we also have the application I submitted for the request for public records. I want to bring to the council's attention really quickly, take 1 minute, a couple of things here. This is Water Avenue. Of the 31 streets, buildings that are painted, on the left we have before. Everything on the left of this poster required a certificate of appropriateness. And I bring this to the council's attention because if someone did have the time to sit and audit your COAs without a protocol, the city could actually lose its designation. The National Trust and Preservation do not play with standards. You have to be uniform across the board. On the left is everything that has been painted. On the right is a copy of everything that has been painted on the city. So the idea that they don't like to paint brick is quite absurd. Because here's the permit where you actually required and approved for Art Survive to put a purple up that is not on the historic palette. So my question is, I went and got the historic palette from Sherwin Williams and checked every color that was on the side that it was approved. Not one. So I find that pretty interesting. I personally love Queen City and Art Survive. They're my favorite businesses and I think they should be open. My issue that I have is that the standard is not applied across the board. Now the danger in this is that if it goes on unkept, you will find that minority businesses will look drastically different from those that are a little bit more incorporated and grant funding. My companies are not grant funded. I do the hard work as every CEO, which is to raise capital. Here we have what I'm asking the board to vote on here. As you see, Queen City, my favorite store here. I frequent here a lot. I love Mandy, but I just want the same treatment as Mandy. You see, on the left are the 3 buildings that I will be renovating the exterior of. Old Voting Rights Museum, or Gampy, and this front here. We're actually trying to save the Old Voting Rights Museum. And if the commission really wants to help, it's probably going to be in excess of $10 million to keep the building out of the water. Do the work that real commissions do, which is raise funding. Now, here, look at my block with my building. It looks quite dilapidated and depressed. No one wants to come here and spend $25 for a salad, which is what I charge. I cannot do it under this facade. What I would like to do is the same thing that Queen City was approved to do, which is change the exterior look of my building with historic coloring according to your ordinances. Last, before I take questions, here. This is the first time this has been shown publicly. This is what Tempers will look like. This is an $11 million project. We're not grant funded. We're not fundraisers. We're capitalists and we acquire capital, hard money from real banks. While the city of Selma was snuggled in from COVID, we were hitting the streets in 13 cities all over this country, fighting for this city to acquire this building and raise the capital. It's one thing to acquire it, it's another thing to get the funding. One of the things that every banker I sat across from said, oh, crime is horrible in the city. Oh, what about your businesses? And they actually pulled up Google Maps of downtown dilapidated businesses. And for those bankers, when they look at that, they say, is this a good investment or not? So we did the hard work, and I'm quite proud to announce to the council that we have successfully raised money to complete this project, privately and on a corporate level. What I'm asking the council for today is to vote on the enhancement of Gampy Farms. It's nothing new. I'm just asking for the same rights you've already given the 31 other owners on the block. That's my proposition to the council.
Thank you, Dr. Fulford. We're going to take a few questions. We'll start with Councilwoman James.
Dr. Fulford, first I want to apologize. I have been following some things with you, been working with you, and myself, I feel like you're not being treated fairly. And I know that you have did your homework, and I know that you have investors that are ready to jump on it now. And I just want to apologize, and I just want to applaud you for doing your homework and bringing it to us today. And I'm full support of what you're doing.
Thank you. And so I would like respond like 1 second, like 30 seconds. Yes, ma'am, Lisa, it's hard work. When you're trying to acquire capital, I'm not government grant funded. I'm going up against bankers that's pulling up every statistic and every murder to this city. So it is hard work, but someone has to get in the belly of the beast of this city and move private capital in. not just for myself. If it was just about me, Lisa, I would have gotten the funding for Teppers and the building behind Teppers and stopped. But I made sure I set on a board that every business owner in this city can access real capital, because the banks here are not lending money to businesses that are here. That's why I exist. Thank you so much. It's hard work.
All right, any other questions? Councilwoman Jada Thomas, then we'll go to Councilman Randolph, and we'll Councilman Carmichael, then we'll wrap it up. Councilwoman Jada Thomas.
Listening to you, and I believe in being fair and equal. And for the prior couple of years, I have been watching the Arts Revive. I have been following them, the improvement, grant funding, and the painting and stuff. And I believe in equal fairness with you. If you're trying to do something with your business, like they have been improving with their business, and this body of the council, for the last 4 years, I cannot recall anyone coming before the body of the council talking about the painting. Only once somebody came before us, that was Mandy Henderson. But I agree with you. You presented yourself with everything that the other side is doing, and you're just right. You're in the line, the cross line, in there with Arts Revival. So I feel that this body of the council should be equal and fair, but you give you the opportunity. We should put that motion to the floor to vote to allow you to, because the historic preservation, we have a selection where we look at the things that according to that, with the commission historic and also the historic preservation, that this body of the council, of the new council, which the old council, we are aware of it, but there are other things that needs to be updated with this historic preservation, which we know some of the people who's the president of it. So we need to get this taken care of, so this would not happen with anyone else.
Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. We'll go to Councilman Randolph, and then Councilman Carmichael.
So did I hear you say with this COA that they denied you to paint your building, but other buildings on the street, bricks are painted?
Before they knew who I was, it was approved verbally. I have yet, as of April 28th, to give anything in writing. They came back 2 weeks later after we had our crew hotel here for 2 weeks. And right now, you know, it's a bid war with these crews. And so when you get them on the ground and you can't get the permits, I'm housing workers, 12 workers for 2 weeks, and just do the math and have to send them home. So I lost 5 weeks. And when they came back and said, oh, by the way, it's denied. And I asked why was it denied, and I didn't receive it in writing according to the ordinances. And they grabbed me by the arm, which I don't like people touching me, and said, oh, little girl, we're not gonna let you do it. That's a problem for me. I don't like to be touched like that, and I found it very, very disrespectful to do that. In other words, because you are the person you are, when we're, not the ordinance itself, because I'm a person that goes by the books. If the book said, hey, we don't paint buildings in Selma, hey, we just can't paint buildings in Selma. That's the reality of it. We still selling a $25 salad, but we just can't paint the building. But they came back after the approval and said to me, you cannot. They denied everything for all 3 buildings. And then I invited them down. I said, well, clearly you're misinformed. Come to my business. And I buried my grandmother Friday. So right after the funeral, I shot down to Orgampi. And I said, let me show you that I'm surrounded by bricks. They said to me, we don't care what you're surrounded by. We are not the ordinance. We're not gonna let you paint your brick. Not only that, I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna let you talk. I was accidentally courtesy copied on an email that I brought here as well. The email was stark and very disheartening. The email basically said, do not let this rich bully come in here, Historic Commission, and do anything. As a matter of fact, don't even let her change the windows in a building that doesn't have windows. It's extremely disheartening to have this kind of conversation in my own backyard. And for somebody that has raised money during COVID, it's not only disheartening, but it's heartbreaking and it's disrespectful.
Councilman Randolph, briefly.
Yeah, let me ask a question. I know the rules, the bylaws of this board they state that some council members supposed to be on there, like a film. But right now, there's no council members on that board. So we need to appoint some council members on that says, I think it's one film or something, you know.
I think it's ex officio.
Huh?
I think it says ex officio.
Yeah.
Somebody's supposed to serve as ex officio.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one thing, we need to put somebody on that board and
I think the good thing to do in regards to that, because that's another separate issue, is to hand that over to the administrative committee. And we need to discuss that at our next administrative committee meeting. So that's as a side note. But let's deal with Dr. Fulton.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we vote to allow her to paint her building. Because the law said they were killing through the council. So we overruled that.
You can take it up under the new business if you don't mind.
Okay.
Let's let Councilman Carmichael speak, and then I'll say something. Go ahead, Councilman Carmichael.
Well, my question is for Attorney Madison. Are we the authority? Are we legally the authority that can do that? I mean, when you appeal to a decision made by a historic commission, which is, an authority set up for a National Historic Register, is that, when you make that appeal, who do you make that appeal to?
Yes, the Historic Commission is a body separate and apart from the council. However, the ordinances of the city of Selma control, and the state statutes control every other political subdivision in the state, as well as federal law. So the commission has regulations, rules, and guidelines, and procedures and standards to follow, which they usually subsume from the National Historic Commission body. The first thing to do is to find out whether or not they, as Dr. Fulford said, whether or not they're violating their own procedures and standards. And if they are, then this body is an appropriate entity to appeal that decision to.
Are we all the appropriate?
Yeah, but I would want to see, and I heard Dr. Fulford, I listened very intently because this problem first came to my attention, I think, yesterday, but I didn't know it in any detail as I heard tonight. So what I'm suggesting is that the commission's decision be reviewed based on their own standards for why they decided what they did.
Hold on, let me just interrupt both of y'all so that we can facilitate this and get some solution. I'm following what our attorney is saying. As Dr. Fulford has pointed out, she has not received anything in writing from the commission, which she is required to do. Regarding whether or not they are.
The development director here in Selma, Mrs. Wootman, said that the council makes the final decision according to your ordinances. And then unfortunately it escalates from there. But I don't have the time to go there. I'm coming to the body of people that is the highest ranking body of people in the city of Selma. So Danielle Wootman suggested that my next step would be to bring the issue before the council for the council to vote.
And there's a term, and I'm sure our attorney can attest to it, called exhaustion of remedies.
I don't have a problem, Mr. President, getting a written decision out of the historic.
And I think that's where we need to
I think that's a very good starting
point. We need to actually get a written decision from them on what they're doing regarding this matter.
And from there I can present it.
Us receiving that order from them, then this council, you've invoked the council's jurisdiction, then so that we can make a decision whether you will be appealing it or not. And so, Attorney Madison, what I would like you to do is to contact, I'm assuming they have an attorney on the board, they should have someone, but contact the board chairman, Historical Preservation Committee, and ask that they please produce to you a written decision so that we may review that decision, and then we will be in a position where I think we could take the right vote. But we need something from them denying your request.
Chief Council President, I would like to say that was requested 5 weeks ago. According to your ordinance, on day number 45, that request expires. Friday makes the 45th day. So in actuality, according to the ordinance, it expires whatever that decision would be on this upcoming Friday. So unless it is approval, then it doesn't matter. We can still move forward at that point.
By operation of law,
Yeah.
that time happens by operation of law,
Right.
then we would have to be invoked at that point.
Okay.
I got you, thank you.
All right.
Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
The president of this, Melissa, board is an attorney. He is the president of the, he is the president.
Thank you.
So there shouldn't be no problem, Mr. Reed, Attorney Reed. Reed. Attorney Reed is the, he is. Reed. Yes, he is the president of that.
And thank you, and due to the urgency of time, Attorney, would you please contact Council President so that I can let the rest of the council know as soon as you receive that decision?
I'll make that call first thing in the morning.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wu?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify a few points. I did speak with, well, our office worked with Ms. Dr. Fulford on her COA. That COA was heard by the commission on April the 1st. And that first COA, both were denied. And so Mr. Thompson in my office brought the concern to me of Ms. Fulford's concern that all of the other buildings on her block were painted. And she didn't understand why hers was being denied. This was all verbal, nothing had been done in writing. The commission has 45 days to make their decision and get it to the applicant in writing. So we're just talking about April the 1st. That was the date that this was first heard by the commission. And so I did speak with Mr. Thomas. We did organize a meeting with Dr. Cooper as well as the commission via Zoom because under our ordinance, under Division 18, Section 2264, it states that in the event that the commission rejects an application, it shall state its reason for doing so and shall transmit a record of the actions and the reasons in writing to the applicant. The commission may suggest alternate courses of action if deemed proper, if it disapproves the application submitted. The applicant, if he or she so desires, may make modifications to the plans and may resubmit the application at any time after doing so. So because we knew that the commission had voted on April the 1st, and we knew the concerns, we tried to remedy the situation, which is what the ordinance requires, to get those two parties together to see if they could come up with a course of action and agree. So we re-met on Friday at 4 p.m. and this is just Tuesday. And the commission heard the concerns, and I also I advocated for the commission to consider that we did not want to appear to be arbitrary and capricious, and that we wanted to ensure that our process is objective and that it's documented. And on our behalf, that's as much as we can do, because through our city ordinance, Selma is a certified government, and so that power and that authority lies within that commission. The council cannot take a vote because that is what our ordinance states, and that authority is given to the commission. There are appeal remedies, but the appeal remedy is not to vote a vote of the council. That appeal remedy lies within the circuit court. And so what we can do is that we can continue to try to work with Dr. Fulford as well as the commission under Section M of our ordinance to see if we can come to a place without it going to the appeal level. From what I can see in our ordinance, that's the only remedy we have, is to keep the parties, try to work with the parties to get a result.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wu.
Council President Young.
Yes, Mayor.
In addition to that, I was briefed on this Friday and again Monday, and we, in fact, this evening will be announcing some additional members being appointed to that commission. The commission really has not been functioning properly, does not really even have enough members to function properly. And so we're remedying that situation now. And I would ask Dr. Fulford that she would just give the administration an opportunity to try to work with this commission to help them see the light of this situation. And we'll try to move it forward. But as Ms. Wu indicated, and this just kind of came to head on Friday, today's Tuesday, and you will hear what we are doing now, what we have started to do to try to get past this situation and all future situations.
Yes, sir, Mayor, if I could just also say, I did express this to Ms. Wolford, and I've expressed it to the mayor as well. You will have later on in the evening a resolution to appoint 3 new members to the commission to get us in compliance with our ordinance. I've also reached out to the Alabama Historical Commission since this was presented to me on Wednesday. And so we are going to schedule orientation and training for the commission. And we're also going to work with the Alabama Historic Commission to get some standards and rubrics in place for our review process that the commission utilizes. Thank you all.
Councilwoman Thomas, if you're to speak, and then
I would like
we'll wrap it up.
for the body of this council, because we are the legislative branch. We are the ones that, on our selected reading where we have municipal boards in Alabama, there are a lot of boards that this body of the council, as the legislative branch, need to look at, because this body of the council doesn't know, and we need to look according to the preservation historic of the way that it is supposed to be. They have a guideline, and this body of the council needs to go to their selected reading.
Okay, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of moving pieces in this matter. First, Dr. Fulford came and she presented her side, her facts, her position. Rather, that would be the best way to put it, her position. Then also, we had an opportunity to hear from Ms. Wooten regarding what she believes is the legal procedure to actually follow. I still believe what we stated from the beginning is the appropriate way for the council to handle this. For our attorney to reach out to the board and to receive the information, whether they are denying or approving, in writing. And that will give this council an opportunity, Councilwoman Jamie Thomas, to review if we have any jurisdiction at all. I'm not saying that Ms. Wooten is incorrect, but it's always best trust but verify. And so this will give us an opportunity to review, and then later on, we will have an opportunity as the appointing authority for this board to review this entire matter and who we place on the board.
I would like to add to the matter of record that while the city sees, it's costing me money. I can't replace that crew I had. Furthermore, in all transparency, and I hear Ms. Wooten loud and clear, and the date was not April 1st, I had it stamped on March 14th in the office, in your office. So it seems as though between Friday and Tuesday, we've lost 2 weeks. Miraculous. What I'm saying to you is that this is an in-house investigation. So while everybody is shuffling and duckling around and don't want to make a decision, as the business owner, it puts me in a very delicate position to either move forward with my contractors out of compliance, which you can't hold to standards because the other 31 buildings are already painted. So you can't fine me because you didn't fine the other 29, right? So then it moves to a bigger waste. I'm not a person that likes to procrastinate, and I'm not coming down on anyone, but it is obvious that there were no standards. We have to be genius to understand that. If there were standards, I would have been getting something in writing. So from March 14th to now, this is not rocket science. So when you say we're going to see, we're going to see, we're going to meet, this is part of the systemic problem of why this city does not move. And what I'm telling you is that as a person, this is just organic in those 3 buildings. We're still in a $65,000 architectural plan for Terrace. I can't wait. And what I'm saying to you is that an inability to make decisions, and I'm not saying you have to vote for it, but you can acknowledge that the process was not followed. If the process had been followed, I would have something to offer you. So certain decisions you may not be able to make, but right, wrong, and ethically, you can make those as a matter of record.
Thank you, Dr. Fuller. Again, Attorney Madison, please get that back to us and keep us updated.
I'll make the call in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Council.
This is my last comment. I'm just, that board, I'm not saying that they did, but I think they had a legal meeting, but they met on the sidewalk, and all boards are regulated the same. They got to notify the public, newspaper, media, somebody. If it wasn't notified, that's a legal vote. I'm telling you.
It is illegal. The whole process is illegal.
I'm gonna tell you something. When I was on the water board called me to fire Mayor Perkins. They invite me to the meeting. You know what the state of Alabama said? That's an illegal meeting.
Open meetings.
Open meeting act. And you think I'm lying? Look at it. Type my name up, Sam Randolph, open meeting act.
Thank you, Councilman Randolph.
Because I'm telling you, that's a legal vote.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Fuller.
Thank you.
All right, council, we need to continue with our agenda. We are now with the mayor's report, attorney's report. Mayor Perkins.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
I think I have a pretty simple agenda this evening. And just want to start with 2 items that I committed to keeping on the agenda until council decides to make a decision about it. That's the $5,000 duplication of used department spending. It's resolution 124, 20-21, and also resolution R125-21, the 10% restriction of intra-departmental fund transfers. We'll just remind the council once again that these processes that are in place delay the process of getting the work done. There are no questions about that, comments, we'll move on. And the next item was actually approved on the consent agenda. That's the tractor, Public Works. Thank you, council.
Hey, Mayor.
Yes.
I was trying to get in, I guess I was on mute. Mr. President, it's okay to say something about item 1 and 2.
Yes, sir, go ahead, Councilman.
Now, I'd like to see, I'd like to make a motion to move forward on this because this is really holding us back. We had some guests from Clyde came before us, some work that need to be done. We should have voted and passed the budget early to get the escalator in time to get these ditches. Ward 8 is one of the worst wards in the flood zone to get the excavator in to get ditches out. We're definitely in a flood zone, so right now we're behind already in getting equipment to do this. We need to move forward to allow the mayor to go ahead and move forward with these 2 items here. I'd like to make a motion to go ahead on and do this because then, unless we feel, some of us feel like the mayor is spending, the department is spending money, and I don't see that happening because no money don't go through the council. We don't sign no check, nor the mayor don't sign no check. The money is coming from the treasury department, which I know everybody is taking care of this like it should, and whatever they do, they come before us. I'd like for us to go ahead and just scratch this and move forward and give the mayor the ability to go ahead and get our city going with the finance that they need. This was something put in place during the last administration, and I don't think we should be able to punish, and I've said this many times, this administration was something that was done with the previous council about the previous mayor, even though nothing was stolen from the previous mayor. But please, council, I'm begging you all, let's move forward, because every ward needs some work done. Ward 8 definitely needs some work done. I can see a change, a lot of work getting done. I applaud public work, I applaud you, mayor. But a lot more can get done if we untie your hands and let's move forward. Mr. President, if I could, I'd like to make a motion, or we can go ahead on and pass item 1 and item 2, but the mayor go ahead and move this.
Councilman Johnson,
that they need.
is there a second? Is there a second? Second. All right. It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the request for a $5,000 duplicate on department spending resolution R 12420/21, and also to approve the 10% restriction on intradepartmental funds transfer, resolution R 125-20/21. Council, are we ready for the question? Is there any discussion? With that said, roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
I'm going to vote no on both resolutions, as I believe this council is trying to work in the spirit of unity and togetherness, and this does not personify that. So my vote is no.
Councilman Harville, Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
No.
Councilwoman James,
I'm gonna sustain because I was really out a lot and I was going in and on the phone, so I really can't vote on that at this time.
Councilman Carmichael,
My vote is no, because as the Selma Sun article recently pointed out, this is pretty ordinary across many cities in Alabama.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jimmison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
No.
Madam Clerk, will you please read back the result? I'm sorry, you have one more. Go ahead.
Councilman Johnson,
Y'all, one was up there before, yes.
I forget about the screen over there. I'm sorry, Brother Johnson. Will you please read back the results of the vote, Madam Clerk?
yes, sir. There are 4 nay votes, 3 yes, and 1 abstention.
Please allow the record to reflect that the motion for both resolutions failed. All right?
What's that?
Yes, sir.
I want the council to be aware, if things don't get done like they want to, the Home Office Administration, have for this.
Thank you.
Keep that in mind. Every council person that voted against this, keep it in mind, when someone voted away. That's not what you just need.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Mayor Perkins, will you please proceed with the report?
Item 3, approving the consent agenda. Item 4, consent agenda, thank you. Item 5, consent agenda, thank you. The Historic Commission Board appointments, Danielle Wooten, Director of Planning and Development, will speak to this issue. Resolution 138-2020.
Yes, sir. The resolution before you is to appointments to fill vacancies on the Selma Historic Development Commission in accordance with the City of Selma Code of Ordinances Division 18, whereas the Historic Commission shall be comprised of 9 members appointed by the mayor and ratified by the City Council. All members should be residents of Selma, Alabama, should be persons who demonstrate training, experience in history, architecture, planning, archaeological, or law, or who shall be residents of a historic district and shown a keen interest, experience, and dedication to preservation. Whereas members shall serve 3-year terms, members may be reappointed. In order to achieve staggered terms, initial appointments shall be 3 years, 3 members for 1 year, 3 members for 2 years, and 3 members for 3 years. Therefore, the term of office for each member shall be 3 years. Whereas vacancies on the commission shall be filled by the persons nominated by the mayor and appointed by the council. Such appointment shall be for the unexpired term of the member replaced. Currently, we are bringing before you current members Charles Johnson, Loretta Wembley, Alan Reeves will continue to serve the remaining 1-year term, at which time to be eligible to succeed themselves. Whereas current members Leonard Derry and William Powell will continue to serve the remaining 2-year term, at which time to be eligible to succeed themselves. Whereas new members Clarence Walker Sr., Abina Phillips, and Lauren Henry are appointed to serve 3-year terms, at which time to be eligible to succeed themselves. The commission shall elect a chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and other officers as the members deem necessary at the next regular meeting. Now therefore be it resolved by the Selma City Council of the City of Selma, Alabama, that Mayor James Perkins Jr. in his capacity as mayor hereby appoints Charles Johnson, Loretta Winfley, Alan Reeves, Linda Derry, William Powell, Clarence Walker Sr., Avina Phillips, and Lauren Henry to serve on the Selma Historic Development Commission. If you guys have any questions at this time, I'll take questions.
Still along with Councilwoman Janie Thomas.
Yes, Ms. Wu, are you
Yes,
going
ma'am.
by the, according, I heard your resolution, what you were asking. Well, you know, this falls up under the body of the council. And, I know the mayor has, you know, he can recommend it, those, people names that you have called to the body of the council. And I heard you reading off the years of being served as on this historic commission. According to the municipality board in Alabama, under the board with these positions, did you look at the guideline under that?
Mayor Perkins, can you hear her question? If so, could you repeat it for me?
Yes, she's asking about the guidelines on the appointment.
Yes, ma'am, it's in the resolution, and it states that the Historic Commission shall be composed of 9 members appointed by the mayor and ratified by the city council.
Okay, Ms. Wu, what did you get that for the 9 members? What could you tell me what is that information that you got with the members on that board?
Is she asking me to cite the?
Yes.
Yes, I'm asking you to cite it, where you got it from.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's in Selma City Code of Ordinance, Division 18, Section 2-256, Commission Membership, Officers, and Meetings.
Paragraph 8.
Yes, paragraph 8.
Okay, let me ask you this too, Ms. Wood. This was done, I know you got it out of the Selma City Municipal Code. Okay, you're filling in you're putting in vacancy, putting these people in vacancy.
She's asking, are we filling vacancies? What we're doing is trying to fix the problem. This commission has done the best that it can with the few people that it have. They have not been able to function fully because the appointments have not been made to the commission. We're correcting the problem by making the appointment, and we're asking the council to ratify the appointment. Councilwoman Thomas, the council can either accept or reject my appointments, but you cannot name for this commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Go ahead, Councilman Carlisle.
I think what Councilwoman Thomas was trying to point out is the same thing that I had underlined here. These are vacancies, and according to that same section you read off, section 2-256, F in parentheses, vacancies on the commission shall be filled by persons nominated by the mayor and appointed by the city council, rather than appointed by the mayor and ratified by the city council. I'm not real sure exactly what the difference is, to be honest with you, but I think we should all be aware of how we're supposed to move forward in this and move forward in the right way. I'm not really in favor of this just because we didn't get this resolution until an hour before the meeting. And so it's hard to crunch in. I mean, this code right here that surrounds the Historic Commission is like 50 pages long, and I could not get all that in my time from receiving this resolution to the beginning of this meeting.
Councilwoman James, then we go back to Councilwoman Thomas.
And we have been accused of not being willing to make decisions. This was, again, brought to my attention, really put on my radar on Friday. We are expediting this to solve a problem that we have and to make sure that the commission is properly staffed with members. So, council, you know, I appreciate, I don't know the difference in that either, council.
Thank you. Councilwoman James and Councilman Thomas, and unless anyone else has, then I'll say something. Go ahead, Councilwoman James.
Again, I think this is one of the situations where the attorney should come in and clarify what we need, and also, back to Dr. Fulford. So now we know that her answer is incorrect now that they gave her when they gave her no, because there wasn't a function board. Exactly. So I believe in fairness. I really believe in fairness, and I think the attorney should look into this and see exactly where we need to be at this stand, and they need to rescind everything that they gave Dr. Fulford and let her redo what she needs to do again, or we move forward. Because if we're trying to correct a situation, we need to be fair to everyone. So her decision they gave her saying that it was not approved, it's non and void because they're not a working board. We are appointing people to the board now. So they need to rescind what they send her, whoever sent it. And because when you don't send things in writing correctly, we have enough lawsuits on file now. We don't need any more lawsuits itself.
Thank you, Councilwoman James. Councilwoman Thomas.
And I think the former council might remember this. Didn't we do an ordinance dealing with this council member? I think Councilwoman Susan Youngblood. I think we did an ordinance we put in place. Clerk, Ms. Ivy, do you recall? I think it was the year of 2018. Councilwoman Youngblood came before with us with an ordinance dealing with this on this situation. Do you recall the next or anything that was revived in this situation? Besides what we have in Unicode, out of the Unicode book?
As it relates to the historic commission?
I know Councilwoman Youngblood brought before this body of the council. I think we did like an ordinance, something put in place that dealing with this.
With that street?
No, with the board, you know, something.
I'll have to research that, Councilwoman Jamie. Let me just research that.
Because I think we took a vote, I think it was done around, I'm quite sure it was done around like 2018.
As it relates to the historic commission?
Yes.
Okay.
It was something Councilwoman Youngblood was doing. You know. And I think we got some language in there.
Let me research that and get back.
Okay, very briefly, any other comments? Go ahead, Attorney Madison.
Mr. President and council members, I've heard three issues that actually all dovetail. The issue of the denial, albeit not official denial of the issue of Dr. Fulford's denial, the issue. I'm saying I hear three issues that actually do dovetail, I believe. The issue of the denial, the non-denial denial of Dr. Fulford, the issue of the historic preservation's consistency or lack of a full board to begin with, and possibly any unauthorized or inappropriate or illegal action they took, as well as the voting of the vote on or of a new board. All of those issues, including the search of the records by the clerk for whether or not an ordinance in 2018 was enacted that touches upon this, all of that can be researched in conjunction with the clerk, and I can report back to the board on or before the next work session.
Thank you very much. And council, my recommendation is that just as the attorney just stated those four issues, I don't think it wouldn't be right to vote on an ordinance, a resolution tonight appointing someone to this board when we don't know and have a whole lot of questions ourselves. We need to get those answers to those questions. So my recommendation is that we do refer this to the next work session for further discussion and to allow the attorney and the clerk and other parties to do what they need to do to provide us with the necessary information to make an informed and accurate decision. Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
Yes, and also, Attorney Madison, it was another partner with this, the commissioner. His name was Kent Green, but he passed away about a couple of months ago. So he was connected with this.
Okay. You saying that's connected to the record search you asked for the clerk?
The name I just gave you, he was partnered with Alan in this.
Okay, thank you. Is there any objection in holding this to the next work session? Any objection from the council?
So do we need to make the motion to table the next?
As long as if there's no objection, we can move on. Is there any objection? Hearing none, by consensus. Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, Mayor Perkins, please proceed.
Well, Council, I would like my objection to go into the record. This is, at the end of the day, the code is not going to change. And whether it says that the mayor appoints or the mayor nominates and the council ratifies or the council appoints, it really, the result is really the same. And Councilwoman Thomas, Janie Thomas, I did not hear everything you said, but are you saying that there was an ordinance passed to change the appointment authority on this?
No.
Is that what you?
The ordinance.
I didn't understand what you said.
My ordinance I'm talking about with the situation with what she brought before us with the painting and things downtown. Councilwoman Youngblood at that time, I don't know if she was on that board or what she did, she brought an ordinance before it brought it to council. And I think we voted on it. It was around the time of 2018, and if I might have this at home. She brought it before the council around 2018 and asked us, because there were some things that they wanted to do through the commissioner board with the property. So that's why I'm saying that.
Okay. I again express my
the art district. Mayor, excuse me.
I express my concerns about council not honoring the authority of the office of mayor. But we'll move on.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, it was the art district. The art district down
there. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman, is that what you're asking me to research?
Yeah, I was dealing with that in that area.
Okay, I do remember the art district.
Yes.
Discussion.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I fully get why the mayor is saying nominate, appoint, nominate.
Yes, sir.
Approve. It's not going to change the process.
Yes, sir. And we've already taken it, so we can move on. Go ahead, Mayor Perkins, please, sir.
You still can hear?
My final issue is to raise again the opportunity for us to get some large projects done by consolidating all this money. Again, that's a council decision. Bring it to you for consideration.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mayor Perkins, could you repeat that again, please?
Once again, I raised the opportunity for the city to consolidate all these funds so that we could get some of these large projects done. And this is a council decision as to how you choose to deal with this. I have no desire to reach over into the council's authority. It's your decision. I'm making the recommendation.
Thank you, Mayor Perkins. Councilman Carmichael, anyone else? And after we'll ask if anyone else wants to speak. Go ahead, Councilman Carmichael.
I believe Thursday night you said that you would have us something in our mailboxes that night or Friday morning concerning the cameras, that you wanted to combine funds and act on.
You did not get the camera, plan?
No, sir.
From STD?
No, sir.
I'm pretty sure it was Steve. Let me follow up on that.
Did anybody else?
You should have gotten it.
We received something regarding helicopter, but I think what we were talking about was something for the purpose of the cameras.
We were talking about the camera. We were talking about the camera system that was designed by STD.
Correct.
That's what we were talking about. And
A big.
I thought you got that. Did Don, you may speak, or Chief, you may speak, but I thought you got that in the.
Mayor,
did not the council get that information?
I think we were looking for something, a large scale purchase of cameras all over the city. Is that what you're talking about?
I believe you mentioned $160,000.
Yeah, like $160,000.
You got it, Councilman Johnson?
Yes, I did.
Well, if you got it, everyone should have received it.
Not about the cameras, what we talking about, you recommend about the ordinance. You brought us, some information, but we did not get the information on how much the cameras would cost for the whole entire city.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. We have an MOU about the helicopter, but we're talking about what you brought, the recommendation to the body of council with the ordinance.
Yeah, the helicopters are not going to cost the city. That's a project that's being offered to us pro bono. Let me follow up on that because.
I'm sorry, Mayor, you may be confusing. We're not talking about the helicopters that are pro bono. We're talking about the cameras, the citywide cameras.
I am aware, and that's what I thought you had received because that, I won't come in any further, but it was my understanding that did go out to you. I'll follow up on that, and if you have not received it, I apologize for it, but those instructions were given. We'll follow up. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Hey, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Before we move on that, I want to go back to the oil lease. You mentioned big projects. Can you name a few of the big projects? Because I noticed back several years ago in the past administration, when I think you was the mayor at the time, y'all, all the city council pulled together with the oil lease money, and I think y'all redid the parks. I think all the parks and all through the city center.
That's correct. We ended up putting basketball goals, new parks up. We renovated all of the parks when we got that done. It was a great project.
And also, I appreciate y'all. I know y'all helped with the East Selma baseball park. The baseball season was up. We got a press park, got a restroom, we got a dugout, something we didn't have back in the day. So it worked out pretty good. So what are some of the projects that you want to get done? You're not prepared to talk about it tonight because I'm prepared to make a motion, but I'm not sure whether the other council want to be, want to do it or not. But I don't have no problem with it.
Well, the camera system
I'm sorry, Mayor.
designed by the police department is one. These cave-ins that we're looking at is another. We got these cave-ins around here, and we don't have enough resources to get it done. But if we look at this situation here, with the equipment that we're getting, we can outsource less, and I think we can get a lot of these things done. I don't know what a lot means right now, but I think we've identified a total of 12 cave-ins. I think that's right, Mr. Hicks, unless you found some more. Mr. Hicks, you want to speak to how many cave-ins we've identified?
Well, with the plus the 12 that you already, first of all, good evening, everybody. Hey, Mayor, how you doing?
Good evening.
With the 12 that you identified, we actually gained 5 more. So, and then today we actually had a situation where, thank God for Aspire being here doing what they were doing, and they helped us out with one that kind of both sides worked on that and got that done, so we'll have that fixed on Union. But they are occurring all over town.
So we're up to 17 that we have identified. And if we break this money up, we probably won't be able to get, we might be able to get 1 or 2 done. Keep it together, I think we can do more. But, you know, there's no magic wand. You got to dig it up and see what's down. But the bottom line is, I know we don't have enough money when we break this money up.
Well, I'm prepared.
Hold on, one second, Councilman Johnson. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Johnson, hold on. Councilwoman Christy Thomas would like to speak. She's been trying to get recognized. Councilwoman Thomas.
Rather than verbally saying what we need, can we get something, a comprehensive plan in writing, stating what items are needed and how much it's gonna cost, so we can make a decision on this?
You can get a plan, Councilwoman, but to tell you exactly how much it's gonna cost, I can tell you we're gonna have to go down and figure some of that out. We are using some camera technology to identify some of these, and we're trying to figure out a way to not have to dig all of them up to fix them. We also identified at least one that was done maybe a year or two ago that's still under warranty. And we need to get the contractor that did that to come back and redo it. But the answer is yes. This last week it was 12, today is 17 with one repair. So we're still trying to figure out where all of them are, but it's a lot of them. And what Mr. Clyde Richardson mentioned today, that's the enemy. That's the enemy we're fighting against. Quite frankly, the city does not own the technology to go in and identify all of them. And if we go in and try to identify every break in our drainage and in our sewer system, we've already provided an estimate of, I think, over $200 million to fix some of this stuff. So so what we're doing now is trying to identify the low-hanging fruit. Those things that we can actually identify as cave-ins and get those done.
All right, Councilwoman Thomas, she's been trying to get recognized a long time too as well. Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
Mayor, isn't that some of the $3 million dollars that we're getting it's gonna be somewhere in that the guideline that we will be able to use some of that for infrastructure when we get it from?
There are specific terms for the use of that money, and all of that's in planning and development now. And we're also working across the city with other entities to see if we can come together, because collectively in the city and county, over $50 million will be coming into the city with those resources. And so there's some conversation going on about that. I don't know how it's going to work out. It may work out, it may not. They may choose to use their money for their specific purposes, just as the council may choose to keep it in New Orleans. So we'll just have to wait and see. The only thing I can do is advocate for what I think is in the best interest of the citizens of the city.
Correct. Thank you. Councilman Johnson, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and right there on the corner of Plant and Burnham is what a major cave-in is. And I thank you, and I want to thank Mr. Hicks for sending the crew out there. And luckily, like you said, it's been about a year ago when that was repaired. I think what they did was something like a liner. I think a liner, one line correct or something. But they did went down. They got a vacuum and sucked all the sand and stuff out of it and put a camera down there. And the good thing that we did use the camera, which I guess won't cost us anything, but we did find out the problem. But that cave-in ain't getting no better, getting worse. So we hope and pray that we can get that done. Not just that area, but I'm pretty sure that I counted maybe 6 or 7 cave-in in Ward 8. And it ain't getting no better. So I'm willing to give my oil, at least my other mayor, whatever it takes to do some major projects that need to take place. If it's not just in my ward, just whatever ward it is, we need to get this done. KPN ain't getting no better.
I just want people to understand and realize that this didn't just happen. And we're talking millions of dollars to actually fix this. And it's really, I'm a little irritated by some of the commentary I've heard. there seems to be this notion that the city should have this done right now. And I keep saying, this is not gonna happen right now. And we need to be mindful of that. I mean, these guys are actually they're doing a lot of work, guys. They are. And to have these kinds of conversations where we keep questioning what we're trying to get done in administration, it's frustrating.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's frustrating.
I understand.
And it is.
I believe you. I understand. Yes.
And all due respect, no disrespect meant here, but it was stated, and we can clarify this. Let's clarify this now, because you know you can't control what I hear, and what I heard you say, Council President, was I heard it being implied that I perhaps am not working from a spirit of cooperation and fairness in your vote to disapprove those two items. And that's not the case. I said, I didn't bring this up. I didn't call for the vote. And so to suggest that if for you all to deliberate it and vote on it the way you choose to vote on it, that's fine. But I wish people would stop. I'm asking people to stop pointing fingers at the administration, because this stuff hadn't been done in the past 10, 12 years.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to relitigate my vote. Just as every council member up here, your vote is your vote. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. So thank you. And that's no way. I assure you, that's no ill will. I made the statement, and how someone took it is how they took it. But I said, you know, what I said. But can we and may we continue on with the agenda? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, again. I don't have a report this evening. Thank you.
City Attorney.
Mr. President, I think you had, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. President, I believe you covered 3 of the 4 items I had on my report last at the work session.
Yes, sir.
The only other item not addressed, I believe, is the MOU for PASS/COSPD collaboration, the helicopters. The helicopter MOU came from my office, not the mayor's office. It came at the mayor's direction, but it came from my office.
I got you.
Yeah, and he did not send that. It was supposed to have been included previously with my packet. One of the items got left out, the MOU. Another one was added erroneously that never should have been sent to you. Councilwoman Thomas, Janie Thomas, brought that to my attention today. So I'm asking that the council consider voting and approving the Police Aviation Support Services and City of Selma Police Department Memorandum of Understanding.
Thank you. Council, the attorney has expressed his recommendation regarding the helicopter. I don't have that in front of me right now. I'm hoping someone else does. But at this time, is there any discussion regarding that recommendation concerning the helicopter that our city attorney just mentioned? I don't have the documents in front of me.
I'm willing to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, so you're asking that we approve that recommendation. Is there a motion from any member of the council to approve the recommendation coming from our attorney regarding the helicopter MOU?
So moved, Mr. President.
All right, is there a second? Okay, it was moved by Councilman Randolph and properly seconded by Councilwoman Janie Thomas to approve the MOU concerning the helicopter. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young?
Yes.
Councilman Harville, Councilwoman Christie Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael?
Yes.
Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman Jemison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Mr. President, just so that it'll go down in the record this way, I would prefer it not be referred to as the helicopter MOU in the record,
Yes, sir.
rather than the Police Aviation Support Services MOU.
Is there any objection to amending the statement? Is there any objection to amending?
Can you repeat that again?
The Police Aviation Support Services MOU.
Thank you. Thank you. So the minutes will reflect that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. Attorney? All right, Mayor Perkins, anything else on the report, sir?
You have anything to see?
Just briefly, Mayor, thinking again, I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that we have an additional, in the last 14 days, we had 16 cases. Cases are gradually moving up. I did check with the hospital and they are seeing more COVID patients. So we're asking everyone to still take precautions in the city. There has also been a decline in the number of citizens who are possibly taking the COVID shot originally and the second. And we know that nationally, and we are having some issues with individuals taking the second. It is very important that you take the second in order to be actually secure from getting the COVID virus. At this particular time, we have 18,308 doses administered in Dallas County. We have a number of people who have had one or more shots, 11,288. And then we have 7,552 number of people who have completed the shot vaccination series in Dallas County. Continue to follow your CDC rules. For those individuals we know as of today or yesterday, CDC rules state that you do not have to wear a mask in public if you are fully vaccinated and you have reached the number of days within that vaccination time to be secure. So please continue to be as safe as possible. And thank you again, Mayor and Council. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Roberts.
The announcements that I have are very brief. I trust that the accommodations made for council are satisfactory, and would like to acknowledge the work that was done by the Public Buildings Director and the building inspector and all of the people who, IT, planning and development, all the people who made ready the council chamber for you all to meet there. Hopefully you noticed the difference in the lighting and the aesthetics. A lot of work was put into it. Just wanted to acknowledge the work.
And Mayor, we also would like to thank you. We looked up at the ceiling and we don't see that large stain anymore, whatever that was in the ceiling. So thank you for that.
Welcome again, public, the department heads under this administration are empowered to do their jobs. I do not limit them. They have the responsibility to do the work, and they have the authority to carry it out. And so that's, I commend them for their work and their efforts. The city currently is hiring some 60+ positions that are available. Please write this number down. That's 874-2110, 334-874-2110. Just come by personnel, get an application. And we look forward to hopefully people meeting the criteria for employment and becoming employee of the city. The state of the city address, I will be delivering that address on Thursday, the 27th. Thursday the 29th. I think that's the 29th. The 29th, excuse the typo. Thursday the 29th at 6 o'clock p.m. in the Convention Center. Council, you have received, if you have not already, I think you have received your invitation to forward. Department heads have also been invited. It will be virtual, it will be carried by media, so we look forward to just sharing with the public many of the things that have been done in the first 6 months of this administration and the direction that we're going as we move forward. That's all I have. One final thing, I want to thank Councilman Johnson. He didn't have to, propose or vote on Resolution 124 and Resolution 125. He did. I appreciate it, and I appreciate every affirmative vote. And I will continue to bring it to the council's attention. And perhaps one day, council will see fit to allow me to do the job at the speed with which I think it can be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Perkins. Now we'll go to the next item on our agenda. That's our committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report at this time? Are there any committees that would like to report? Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
Yes, I'm trying to get I was told from the department head of public building that, Mayor, I've been trying to get an appointment set up with the director of the public building, and she said that we would have to get it through your office, to set it up, the company set up the meeting.
Sure. Please, just reach out to the office.
Yeah, I did, I did call, and she was busy that day. I called the office to Don to speak to her, and Ms. Harris said she was busy, but she never did get back with me. And the reason why I want to have this meeting is because we're working together as a team through the committee, so we can know exactly what our city needs and what we need to get taken care of with public building. So I'm hoping, Mr. Can you meet tomorrow? Can you meet can you do it on the phone, or can you do it on the lunch break? Thursday. Mayor, can we get one Thursday? And I think Mr. Councilman Harvey, he said he can do his probably. Secretary, did he say he can do it on the phone?
I can't give you an answer right now, but we'll give you one first thing tomorrow.
Okay, can you give me something tomorrow?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any other committees would like to report this time? Councilman Carmine.
I don't have a report, but I do want to say I'm eager to get the remaining documents surrounding the garbage and trash codes so that we can have a meeting and try to get that worked out. I know that's a hot topic. So looking forward to getting those documents and getting to have a meeting on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committees like to report? Any other?
Councilman Carter, how soon can we have that meeting?
As soon as we get the documents.
Councilman Carmichael, can we meet and discuss all of these? Because I'm really not even totally sure what you're asking for. So let's
there were some attachments.
Maybe get together and we sit down and go over what we have, and then you can kind of share with me what else you need.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yes.
Yeah, well, I had shared with Attorney Madison in that list that y'all sent out, there were attachments like A through F that we didn't have, and I wanted to have the attachments to the list so that we could discuss everything, fully.
We did talk about it, but there's far more than the attachments too. That's, I think, what the mayor is alluding to. There's way more than the attachments.
Okay.
And I agree with the suggestion made by the mayor. I think it would be great as Public Works Chairman and the mayor if y'all do get together before the meeting. So I think that would be productive for us. So,
yeah, okay. Oh, you're saying just us?
Okay.
You're saying you'd like to meet with me, Mayor?
No, I would like to meet with the committee, and because I think all of us need to just sit down and do this. And there needs to be we really want to move on this quickly, and I don't know that we are moving fast. I don't think we're moving fast enough.
I agree, but there were so many references to attachments in that list that I feel like we need those attachments.
I think he's agreeing with you, Councilman. I just think he wants clarification on what the list, or he can speak with
Y'all sent it to me. Y'all sent the list to us.
No, I thought it was my understanding that he was asking for ordinances or historical data relating to the old garbage system and several other things. That's what I thought you were asking.
It's the attachments that y'all said were supposed to be attached to the document that y'all sent us.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm asking for all the supporting documents.
And the fact of the matter is, Mr. President, they're not all generated yet.
Okay.
Thank you. Clear. Thank you.
So I need those before we meet, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a need to meet though, because you, the council, you can assist with putting those together. I think we need to go ahead and have an initial meeting with the council and the administrative team that put this together so that we can actually walk through this and discuss what those documents even need to look like. I just don't think that it's a good idea to delay for that reason. That's just my opinion, Councilman.
Okay, this is the first I've heard that, so I'll call a meeting.
That we actually get together. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
this is the first I've heard that reply, so I'll get with you about a meeting in the morning. Thank you.
So you all gonna meet first and then we're gonna meet with them?
No, we're just gonna call a committee meeting and discuss all this.
Thank you very much. Hopefully that will get us somewhere. We'll move on to any other committee reports. Hearing no other committee reports at this time, we'll go to unfinished business / new business. And I know that Councilman Randolph had something he would like to bring as new business tonight. Councilman Randolph.
Yeah, Mayor, is Mr. Hicks still on the line?
Yes.
Yeah, Council, are you aware that the state has some surplus property that they're gonna be put up for auction, but the city has the option to go in before the auction to purchase something. And so I'll talk to Mr. Hicks and, we will share information. And he was saying that they need some vehicles for public works, they need some vehicles for code enforcement office. So he talking about 5 or 6 vehicles for approximately, all the vehicles together was like $35,000. But the catch to it, we can't wait on the bid, the actual auction, because when we wait till the auction, we're gonna lose out because people gonna come in and overbid us. But the city will go in at this moment and just outright buy it at a cheap cost. So I was going to council to give the mayor authority to spend up to $35,000 for these new vehicles. Set aside y'all differences. I know people say, oh, you trying to give some money. It's not about money. We trying to get vehicles to get stuff done in our city. And if you want to wait till the auction, wait till the auction. But you're going to spend about 100-some thousand to maybe 40 or 50,000, But you got the time now to go in and give the mayor authorization, send someone over there to test drive these vehicles and get some good quality vehicles before the auction. So, anybody have any comments on? I mean, this.
One question.
Go to Councilman Thomas.
Is this going on right now?
The auction, Mr. Hicks, you don't
Can
know.
he explain to us?
Yeah, the auction finna come up, but we trying to buy this equipment before the auction. If we buy it now, we can go in there and buy it as a city. They let cities come in there and buy it now.
Well, just like you said, the amount of money, like you said, they do need the vehicles, because we some of the people are driving their own personal cars. Mm-hmm. And they're putting more liability, when we're putting, where an employee is working for the city and they're using their cars, especially the code enforcement. we have to look at things like that. But if this body of the council look at, and Mr. Hicks tell us, that this is coming up ahead of time, and so we can talk with our treasurer and see is where the money gonna come from to purchase these. We have to have a time frame and everything.
But we'll have time estimate in waiting. The mayor will find out, get the mayor authority and the treasurer to find out where they're gonna get the money from. We ain't got time to sit here and say,
Well, that's what we say.
Next council meeting is a done deal, we ain't getting that.
Councilman Randolph, that is what we are saying. If you brought this to the body of the council, you know this auction, if Mr. Hicks saying that there's a certain amount of cars that the auction finna auction off, and he needs the money, Mr. Hicks need to address that to us, so the body of the council knows.
Mr. Hicks, are you on the call?
Councilman, I am here. Yes, I'm here. What can I help y'all with?
Can you explain the importance of us go ahead and get vehicles now? Why we got a change before the auction? If we wait till the auction, we're gonna lose out. Believe me?
I think I did this once before. I went to the auction and I found 4 vehicles that I could have purchased for I think it was $23,500. But due to the fact that we had to wait for the council to meet and do the 5%, the 10% thing, moving it around and all that, there was a 3-day delay. The auction went on and I lost all 4 vehicles. So the only thing I'm saying now is code enforcement needs some vehicles. I am riding in my own personal truck that I just bought for the city. And I'm not charging y'all a dime for it. And I'm not gonna charge you a dime for it. But the thing of it is, we have an opportunity to go over to the auction, find some nice vehicles. we're not asking for brand new vehicles. We're asking for vehicles that the state has put out that's in good condition, we can get for a little nothing, if the council decides that's what you want to do. But if you don't, then, all this discussion back and forth about what we're gonna do, sometimes we have to move now. We can't wait for 4 or 5 days or 2 or 3 weeks or a month to get some stuff. And I understand you guys got to deliberate and do what you got to do. But all I'm saying is that we can go over to the auction. I think it's gonna be in the next 2 weeks. We can go over there, find out how many vehicles we can purchase. If you guys want to purchase them, fine. If not, then we won't have to, because the auction is going to go on whether or not we buy these vehicles or not. So
okay. Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Now, let me just get some clarity on this. What Councilman Randolph is proposing is that we authorize the mayor, whoever his designee is, to go to the auction before the auction to because they give cities special privileges to authorize them $35,000 to go purchase some much needed vehicles for code enforcement or whatever else. The only question I have is, as Councilwoman Thomas kind of said, where are we pulling this 35 from?
This is the same situation that we were talking about. I was at the 10% council. It would be, I could lose my position as mayor if I go and do something, move monies in the budget that would exceed the amount of the appropriation of the budget. I'm not gonna do that. What we're talking about doing is being able to move money where we need it to do what we need to do when we need it. Because it's critical that we be able to operate like that. Listen, my name is not on a single check. My name is not, I don't sign checks. I don't touch money. So if this is about some perception that the mayor is a thief, and I read all of that noise and all of that nonsense in social media, I reject it. And when the council have these deliberations, it seems to me that you're buying into it. It's offensive, it really is. You know, all we're trying to do, if Mr. Hicks finds, if he goes over to the state yard and he identifies some vehicles that we need, then administration will get together, find out where we can move money from within the budget without exceeding any of the appropriations that you made. Move the money to where we need so that we can appropriately finance the transaction. It shows, it's going to show up in your financial reports. Even, you know, so but again, Council, it's your decision.
Okay, thank you, man. All right, Councilman Randolph, anything to add? No. Okay. Anything else? For sure.
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead and make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we allow the mayor up to $35,000 to go and try to find some vehicles from the state auction.
Is there a second? Second. All right, it was moved by Councilman Randolph, properly seconded. I think I heard Councilman Johnson first. Councilman Johnson seconded the motion. Any further discussion, Council?
Can I get some clarity on that motion right quick?
Go ahead, Councilman Carmichael.
This is moving funds within the Public Works Department. Correct? Yes. Okay, I just wanted to make clear on that motion.
So if a truck is going to go to recreation, or if a truck is going to go to code enforcement, we need to be able to do whatever we need to do. I don't want to just say it's going to all come from Public Works because it may not.
Right.
So,
well, can we see the needs? How long would these needs?
We don't have time.
Okay, but I have a statement I'd like to make concerning the future.
Most of the state departments move this equipment to the yard late. They're just moving it this week. The auction, I think, is Thursday or Friday. We don't have a lot of time to do that.
I'm asking about the future because I've heard about this auction for weeks, and we have.
The equipment is not there, Councilman. Those trucks are not there.
Can I finish, please?
They announced they're going to do it, but those departments don't bring that stuff in there.
Okay, can I finish? I've heard about this for weeks, and if we can see the needs of the departments and what you're needing, and spelled out for us, if you need vehicles in this department or whatever, I mean, it just seems like you could give us something on paper that we could see where the money's going. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's a thief or anything. I just like to account for spending. It's nothing against anybody personally. Okay. I like to account for where the money's going.
Okay.
And just words on the night of a meeting, I mean, that's hard to vote on. It really is hard to vote on.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm just saying in the future, can we please try to get more information on it?
Councilwoman Jane Thomas, and then we have a motion on the floor. Go ahead.
Can we do a special call meeting on the Zoom for tomorrow so we can get this taken care of?
Tomorrow would not be appropriate because of the notice provision. We have enough notice.
Okay.
So, but we do have a motion on the floor. Any other discussion? Any other discussion on this motion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young.
At this time, I will vote no because I need more information to make an informed vote.
Councilman Harville, Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes, because of the need, and I don't like the fact that Mr. Hicks is having to drive his own vehicle to do work. So my vote is yes.
Councilman Carmichael.
I'll say yes to this as well. I'm not happy about not having anything in writing in front of us to vote on, but $35,000 as needed for vehicles for these departments.
Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Yes, because of the need.
And yes, Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jemison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
I'm gonna vote, in this vote, I wanna say it's because of the need and the liability of the employee driving their personal car, working for the city of Selma. And make sure you put that in the minutes, please. Document in the minutes what I just quoted.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Councilman Johnson?
Councilman Johnson?
I think he dropped off the Zoom and he's trying to get back in.
Okay. Madam Clerk, could you read the results of the vote?
Yes, sir. We have 6 affirmative and 1 no.
Okay. The motion passes. $35,000 is authorized. Councilwoman Janie Thomas.
I did want to ask the clerk, could you add in there, could the treasurer provide for us where this fund is coming out, let us know what line item is coming out of to the body of the council?
That will be provided, Councilwoman.
Okay.
That's a part of the process.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I got one more.
Yes, sir. Councilman Randolph.
Okay, about a couple weeks at the last meeting, I talked about issue that we was having on Primrose with the flood. Today, we got bids on the to correct the problem. Even though Primrose storm drain was corrected, but it was bad down at between Selma High on Franklin, between Selma 6th Avenue and Memorial Avenue. And so I got I didn't get the bid. Mr. Hicks and Ray got the bid for $8,500, which is going to be coming out of my oil lease to correct the problem, the flood behind Selma High on Franklin Street, Primrose, 6th Avenue. So I'm asking the council favor vote for allowing me to get $8,500 out of my account to fix the problem.
This is out of your oil lease account?
Out of my oil lease.
Okay. All right. So you made that motion?
Yes.
All right. Is there a second? All right, it's moved by Councilman Randolph and probably seconded by Councilwoman Janie Thomas to take an appropriation of how much was it? $8,500?
$8,500 to Tri-County.
To Tri-County for the property in Primrose. What was that address?
It's Primrose, between Primrose and 6th Avenue.
Between Primrose and 6th Avenue.
Behind Selma High School.
All right.
And I know the mayor said councilman can't make a contract. I'm not making a contract. We're asking the city attorney to make a contract.
We're just approving.
You know.
He just made the point I was going to make.
Yeah.
That the contract negotiation and execution itself be coordinated with the mayor's office.
Yes.
Yeah, but he has the right. You have the right to offer the money from wherever you like.
We're essentially approving the expenditure.
Yeah, the money.
Yes. All right. Yes, sir, Councilman Johnson. Certainly, Councilman Johnson. You may have your vote recorded for the clerk for that previous vote. Go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson.
Yes, okay, thank you. We do have this motion that's on the floor from Councilman Randolph. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young?
Yes.
Councilman Harville, Councilwoman Christie Thomas, Councilman Carmichael?
Yes.
Councilwoman James?
Yes, because I will be doing the same thing in Ward 4.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman Jemison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Janie Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes. Very good. Any other new unfinished business we need to take up? Councilwoman Janie Thomas.
The reason I'm getting this unfinished business because I was the one that was very concerned about our elected officials when they I've been doing some reading and some research, and I want to give Attorney Madison, could you come get this right here for me? And this is section 11-43-12, and I'm very concerned about this because we have business, we have citizens, elected officials on this county that have business. And we had one council, this is old business. We had one council brought his information, but I was against it because I wanted to get an understanding. I gave you the page measurement 58,
Okay.
section, okay. And I really want to hear, the whole entire council needs to know this. There were, when, I'm worried about where is our money going to now. If Public Works need concrete or anything else, are they buying the supplies from another city? Is our money going to Prattville? Or is our money going to Montgomery? I'm serious. I had a lot of thinking. I had to do it alone. I just had to figure it out. And the reason why I gave it to the attorney is because there are 4 different opinions during 4 different times with this opinion that happened in other cities with elected officials sitting up here. And I wanted Madison to look into that, and I wanted to bring back that resolution because I'm trying to figure out I would like to ask the mayor a question. With the needs of the city, with work needs to be done on the streets and stuff, where are Public Works buying the supplies from for our city? Is he gone?
Where are they buying supplies from?
You know, like we have sidewalk, concrete. Since we only had one business here in the city of Selma, which I was the one that wanted to, I put a hope on that resolution because I had to do my own research and to find out under the section code of Alabama as an elected official that's sitting up here that got business, and our city is operating. Well, he wasn't an elected official at that time. Our city had been doing business with this cooperation. And when this person became an elected official, not only for him, anybody that got business, that we have two people on our panel right now has business, but only one person put in a resolution. But I stopped the resolution because I wanted to get a good understanding of the article. But right now, since that business has been only the one supply for the city of Selma, have our city, have this Public Works had to go out of, had to go somewhere else to get the concrete, the material that they need to fix a sidewalk or anything else?
I would have to have Mr. Hicks to chime in on this. I will tell you that the asphalt that we're using, I think, but I don't need to think about it. I'll let him speak to it, but I think it comes from the state. And but go ahead.
Okay, and I wanted the council to know this, the whole body. I am the one that was wanting to know more, and I have been doing my research and I've been looking, and I know that the AG office has given 4 different opinions during different years. And what I would like for our attorney to do, because I held his resolution up, because I believe in knowing the facts before I give a vote. And I did my research, and I would like for our attorney to get some of those AG opinion on when we have an elected official that has a business that sits up here. I would like to see some of that, some of those opinion from the attorney, so then I can present my case to the body of the council why I did what I did. Attorney Madison?
Oh, you asked me to read it?
No, I didn't ask you to read it. Well, if you would like to, you can let them know.
No, you asked me to get it.
Yes, can you read to the body?
But I thought you were asking me, I may have mistakenly characterized what you were asking. Were you asking me to get the Attorney General's opinions that are listed here?
Yes, and I asked you if you would, could you read that out?
Sure.
And the reason why people could understand why I did what I did.
Can you hear? Can you
I
hear?
asked the mayor one question too.
I'm reading from the Handbook for Mayors and Council Members of the Alabama League of Municipalities, 2020, copyrighted 2020. Section 11-43-12 does not prevent a corporation of which an elected municipal official is a stockholder from doing business within a municipality. And then there's an Attorney General's opinion referenced in 1958. However, a municipality may not deal with an incorporated firm in which a member of the governing body owns a controlling interest. There's another Attorney General's opinion dated December 6, 1973, and a separate one dated April 6, 1976. A municipality may not do business with a corporation which is owned by the family of a member of the governing body. An Attorney General's opinion of March 8, 1974 is referenced. A council member may conduct business either by bid or otherwise with a separately incorporated municipal board. However, he or she may not vote as a council member on any matters affecting his or her relationship with the board. Attorney General's opinion 1997-213. There was some more yellow. I didn't know if you wanted to.
Not that. It was that. And the reason why I asked you was because the 4 years that I've been up here, we never had that. And I wanted to get, I would like to, for you as our attorney, to get the opinion. So if any elected official that sits up here that got a business, that we should know what the opinion, what their opinion on doing business with the city.
If I may, if I could just take that booklet across the office and copy that page, I'll have all of the Attorney General's opinions.
And can you give it to me by the next work session?
Which one? The
This
book?
right here.
The book or the
No,
Attorney
not
General's
my
opinion?
books, not
The Attorney General's opinion?
Yes.
I can do it as fast as they send them to me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other unfinished new business? Any other, yes, Councilman Carter?
I just kind of want to make a request for a document, an official request. I think I made this Thursday, but I'm not sure if it was clear. I wanted to see the minutes on when the beautification account was set up, because it was my understanding that it was a rollover account, and if that's the case, then last year's funds should still be in that account. Let's see. Also, we have the minutes in our box that I had requested about the reimbursements of the COVID-19 funds, the federal funds. And it said, Councilwoman Benjamin stated that she would like to make a motion, which was seconded by Councilwoman Thomas, to approve to allocate funds for masks and PPE for COVID-19 for citizens of Selma, and that the city's general fund, in parentheses, emergency fund, will be reimbursed for the cost of said masks and PPE. A roll call vote was taken and motion passed with a unanimous vote of the council. So I just wanted to point out that it seems to me that those the funds that were spent for the COVID, the federal grant, that the reimbursement should have gone back into that emergency fund account.
Thank you, Councilman Carmichael. Any other unfinished business? Yes, Councilman Randolph?
Yeah, just my last I had talked to Mr. Hicks today about I was gonna rent a backhoe to clean out some storm drains in my ward, and I just want the people of Elkdale and Doherty Avenue to know that we're working on getting your ditches clean. Mr. Hicks came up with a game plan today, and so in the near week or two, you'll be seeing your ditches dug out.
Thank you. Any other unfinished business? New business?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
We discussed an executive session over a litigation issue.
Are you still requesting?
We definitely need it. If you want to defer it, we can, but we're gonna have to have it sooner rather than later.
8:48 p.m.
We can do it whenever you prefer. I'm just saying we're gonna have to do it.
Okay, we will defer at this time. Any other unfinished business? Go ahead.
Can you give me the answer I asked for from Mr. Hicks?
If they're still on.
Mr. Hicks, you still on?
Yes, he is still on.
I'm still on.
Yeah, can you give me that answer?
I'm still on, but I don't know what y'all talking about.
Okay, can I ask you the
He
question?
wants to know where you getting your raw materials to do the work that we're doing in public works.
Okay, the asphalt, the asphalt that we're running now, it comes from, DOT up on 80, or either from Montgomery. And, that's about the only material that we're buying at this point, because we have not been able to pour any, cement at this time, because we really haven't, gotten into that. Well, I'll take that back. We did make some manhole covers, but we went to, a local Marvin's and bought some cement and made it up and put it in, make the tops for the storm drain. But in large quantities, we have not been buying anything, outside of Selma or anywhere else at this point.
Okay, the reason I asked you, because I got a lot of, the storm pulled up a lot of these sidewalks up with the big trees, so I'm just figuring, how much longer we're gonna have to see that, in the community with the sidewalks up. And I was trying to see where you get this from anywhere else. Because I have once he give me my information, then I will end my case. I will plead my case if the over.
Okay, thank you. Any other unfinished business? Hearing no further business, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's great to be back in chambers and to see one another, and we wish you the very best. There being no further business, this meeting stands adjourned.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.